Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to demonstrate competence in a job interview. Now, here's how I notice most people tend to answer job interview questions. They either think of it as if they're filling out a standard interview rubric. They think, okay, I have to have a story about resolving a conflict, a story about managing ambiguity, a story about learning from failure, and a story about a time I successfully delivered a result. So, have I picked the right stories for each of those? Am I telling them in the right way? Or people think of job interviews as an arena where they have to prove that they've already done the exact thing that they're being interviewed for. And so they think things like, "Oh crap, I can't actually point to a time where I did the exact thing I'll have to do in this job, or I delivered the exact outcome I'll have to deliver in this role." That's not great. So what kind of analogous examples can I cobble together so I can make a case for why they should hire? Let me give you another way of thinking about this. First, understand the question under the question. If someone asks you, "Tell me about a time that you resolved a difficult conflict," what are they really asking you? Why are they asking this question? What are they trying to figure out about you? Are they asking because the main issue in their company right now is cross functional disagreement and they need someone who can help product and legal and tech all speak the same language and work together effectively? Are they asking because the prioritization process in this company is full of sharp elbows and big egos, and they're looking for someone who will push their team's agenda without backing down? Or are they asking because the leader of the group, two levels up, is super short tempered, super reactive, and the team spends half their time calming them down and dealing with their requests? Those are all very different situations, and you may want to answer very differently based on what the question under the question is. So don't just trot out your standard response and hope you nail the landing. Prioritize live presence over rigid preparation. Understand the question under the question and figure out what they're really trying to find out about you and why. Then, explain your philosophy and process. Before you jump into your story, take a moment to explain how you approach problems like this. What's your philosophy, aka the principles, beliefs, strategies that you use to guide your problem solving? And what's your process, aka how you translate that philosophy into concrete action steps that get you from A to B? For example, if someone asks me how I resolve conflicts, I might say, my philosophy is people don't want things. People want feelings. They may come to you asking for things, but it's always because they believe that getting that thing will create a certain feeling for them. I wrote a whole article about this, by the way, which I've linked above. And the conflict resolution process that this philosophy translates into is this: I listen, I ask a lot of questions. I try to really understand what the other person wants, what they actually want. And then I look for win-win solutions where we both get the feelings that we want, even if we don't get the specific things that we initially asked for. Now, this is just an off-the-cuff answer, but you get what I mean. Rather than telling a story about a time that I resolved a conflict, I'm explaining how I approach, break down, and solve this type of problem, which is the real thing that the interviewer is getting at and the real thing that will actually create value for this company. Now, along with your philosophy and process, you're also going to want to draw the connection to your past experiences. Because once you've explained your philosophy and process, the next natural question is, does that work? Are you good at doing that? Which is the perfect time to bring in examples and stories. Not to demonstrate how you've already done the exact things this job requires you to do, but to bring your philosophy and your process to life with real examples, to demonstrate how and why your approach to solving this kind of problem is really effective, and to explain how the things you've done in your past, even if they're not directly related, have honed the exact skill set that you're going to apply in this role. Now, as you prepare your answers, regularly reverse the roles. As you're fleshing these answers out, you're going to be tempted to ask someone, "What do you think? Is this what I should say?" Before you ask other people, test each answer by reversing the roles. If you were hiring someone for this role, what would you think if the candidate gave your answers? What would your perception of them be? What further questions would you have? What would you want to clarify or check up on? Keep asking yourself this question again and again as you build out your answers. And don't stop until your response is, oh yeah, I'd hire that person on the spot. And overall, as you go through this process, see yourself as an advisor, not as a job candidate. Because the goal here is not to hype yourself into thinking you're perfect for every role. The goal is to make a measured, accurate assessment of how well a particular role fits you. But it's really hard to make that kind of assessment when you feel like you're standing in the spotlight auditioning for a role while everyone else silently judges you. So stop auditioning. Imagine if you were a strategic advisor hired by this team. They explain to you what their current state is, what they're trying to go, where they're trying to go, why they've been having trouble getting there, and what they've done so far to close the gap. And they tell you their answer to the case, the kind of person they think they should hire and what they think this person would be doing all day long. But you wouldn't just take their word for it. You would get the facts and make your own assessment. And you can do this during a job interview too. The job description is just their answer to the case, their assessment of the problem, the solution, and the kind of person that can get them there. Get the facts and then ask yourself, what do you think they really need? What do you think this role will actually end up turning into? And does that sound like something that you would enjoy and be good at? And if you want some help doing all the things I just described, if you're wondering, how do I actually figure out the question under the question? What is my philosophy and my process? What if I don't have one? By the way, you do have one. You just need to extract and articulate what's already there. Or if you're asking, what if my past experiences aren't that related? How do I still make the case for myself? Or what if I'm not that convinced by my own answers? Or what if the stakes are really high and I really want this job? How do I still beat my nerves and stay in advisor mode and not go into audition mode? I can't give you all those answers right here in this video, but I can if we work together. We'll work through those questions one by one. You'll develop your answers custom made for your situation. You'll go out there, you'll practice, and then you'll come back to analyze what happened, assess, and make adjustments. And you'll learn how to weather the storm of dings, rejections, and give yourself a hug and keep on going. And you'll get this done. So let's get started today. Go to the link above and book a free coaching consult.